Hi, my name is Paul Hilton, and my project is Tesla Motors and the Advancement of the Automobile from a Systems Perspective. And this is for my Introduction to Engineering graduate class at NYU Tandon. And this presentation is to accompany the midterm paper that will be submitted with this. So, project overview. We're going to look at how Tesla has reimagined the automobile at a systems level, a system that's been around for a long time, relatively unchanged as far as what functions it performs, but Tesla aims to take a new approach to this. And they want to do this through pursuing improving technology in the electric car and by approaching it in new innovative ways the automotive industry has never seen before Tesla. And now Tesla has carved out a piece of this ever-growing car buying market. And we're going to look at how they did this with their new advanced system. We're also going to look at the development of their autopilot technology, which is their self-driving capability. And we're going to look how it could just completely change transportation as we know it, and just from a technological level, just take the car and just have so much more advanced than any systems that preceded it. And we're going to look at how Tesla is going beyond the car and exploring home solar energy and how this can tie in with their cars at a system level and just at practical levels. So, brief history of Tesla. It was founded in 2003 by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, two men who are no longer with the company. The company was named after the famous inventor Nikola Tesla, for he actually invented the inductor motor, and an improved version of this invention is what's used in Tesla automobiles today. So a very fitting name. And they entered a very competitive market against long-standing competitors, and with an unproven technology, the electric car, which at the time was just not practical to replace combustion engine cars for many reasons. So they had quite a task ahead of them. But a man you may be more familiar with, Elon Musk, is a well-known technological innovator and businessman. He is the co-founder of Tesla and a key investor. I mean, he's invested, but since 2009, probably more, but by 2009, invested 70 million of his own money out of a total 187 million raised for the company. So a very significant chunk. And he's now served as the CEO and public face of this company since 2008. And you may also know him that he's co-founded the company that created PayPal, and also founder and investor in SpaceX, SolarCity, and Hyperloop. So some other very prominent companies, especially technologically. So we're going to look at some of the technology they use quick. The induction motor, which has many advantages over internal combustion engines. It has a quicker response to the accelerator pedal, and internal combustion engines actually have a delay and are just not very responsive. So this is an improvement there. A huge improvement is it's much more linear and has a much more efficient power output across the capable RPMs. So what this means is that it doesn't need the traditional bulky transmission system that other automobiles have, because what the transmission system does is take that power output and make it linear through a complicated mechanical system of gears. So the Tesla doesn't need nearly as a complicated system, which really helps, and really great efficient engine and a big improvement. Also, this engine generates direct rotational motion, unlike internal combustion engines. So internal combustion engines actually need complicated mechanical systems to take the motion they create and turn it into rotational motion. So it's another aspect that this has done away with. And these reductions of mechanical systems in the engine and drive chain significantly reduce the weight and the mechanical complexity of the car. Two huge advantages, especially the reduction of weight, which greatly increases the weight to power ratio, and in turn just increases the performance of the car in every way as far as driving goes. So the battery design advantages over existing electric cars in the market. I mean, this is where the engines where they are better that have their improvements over fuel burning cars. The battery technology is where they have advantages over electric cars. So they cover across the board. So what they do that's different is most companies use just a few large battery cells, but this creates problems with weight distribution and temperature distribution. But Tesla uses thin mats of hundreds of small battery cells. Now, using lots of small battery cells allows them to distribute the weight across the car more evenly, and also allows for the heat to dissipate more easily, and also they can use a cooling system more effectively to also help with the heating. So it's really an interesting way that they approach this that really gives them a competitive edge technologically. And these battery mats are interchangeable and scalable. So if you have room, you can add more battery to your car. And if one of them goes down, you can replace them easily. The autopilot technology that they're beginning to research and implement, it really could have a huge effect on not just the automotive industry, but just the world. Now, the cars are already fitted with all the cameras and sensors needed to implement this feature today, but the software and testing isn't quite there yet. So what Tesla does is they send wireless updates to your car, almost like an update for your phone or computer that gives your car the software and ready to interact with the sensors and cameras to start using these features. And they already have features like adaptive cruise control, automatic braking, automatic parking, automatic steering assist, and smart driver alerts available to their customers today. And more features are constantly being introduced with the final goal of a car that completely drives itself independently, which they believe is coming very soon. So and then there's the integrated home solar. So Tesla merged with one of Elon Musk's other companies, Solar City, in 2016, where they shortened their name from Tesla Motors to just Tesla. Now, this has advantages for each side because Tesla has advanced battery technology that the solar technology can use to store the energy generated by the solar. And Solar City benefits Tesla because they can put these systems in houses now for Tesla customers where they can generate their own energy and use that energy to charge their own cars and use the surplus energy to power other things in their home. So it really is an interesting direction to take the automobile system in, but it could be the future. So now we're going to look at the systems analysis. So first, the needs analysis. I'm going to look at the electric car market. Is there a market for electric cars? So first, there's been I mean, fuel burning cars create a lot of pollution, and lately a lot of people in many countries are trying to move away from produce pollution and reducing their impact after the Go Green movement. So electric cars definitely appeal to those people. And you could see from 2012 to 2018, since the Model S has been available, I mean, you could see steady and improving growth. And from the release of the Model 3, which is a more affordable model, is really starting to increase. So they might be on the brink of serious growth as a company, and you can just see the market growth there as well. So the regulations also create a need for this technology. Over 20 countries have now introduced legislation to ban the production of fuel burning cars. So we're going to need an alternative, and electric cars appear to stand out as the clear alternative. Countries like China, Germany, India, France, Japan, and South Korea, just to name a few, have bans that are going to go into effect as early as 2020 and in most cases at least by 2030. So this is a change that's coming, and we're going to have a need for an alternative to replace these fuel burning cars. Also, the government thinks there's a need in this technology. The U.S. government, you can see in 2009, they awarded Tesla a $465 million low interest loan, almost a $500 million, to help them develop the technology for the Model S and just general electric powertrain technology. So even though the U.S. doesn't have that legislation in place, they clearly see the value in this technology and want to see it grow and replace fuel burning cars. So there's a need as far as that goes. And then traffic and safety, when you come to look at the need for autopilot technology, as populations increase around the world, traffic problems are just constantly getting worse all across the world. And self-driving cars that communicate with each other can maneuver these roads more efficiently than human drivers, which would effectively reduce traffic. And then also you have car accidents all over the world that lead to serious injuries and even death, because drivers use their phones while driving, could be impaired by drugs and alcohol, or just be inexperienced or careless. And self-driving cars would not be any of those things and would certainly cut down on car accidents, especially because of their quick braking and maneuverable ability. So operations and functional analysis, we look at the functions that this system needs to handle, and we break them down in categories. This is preliminary phase, and we start to look at it at a subsystems level. So we have the automotive functions that give the car good aerodynamic and structural qualities, as well as good handling and maneuverability done through automotive and mechanical components and engineering. It's basically to be able to perform and be a car more importantly than anything else. The electrical power systems, which storing energy and using the energy to power the car, so the induction engine, the inverter, and the battery technology. The autopilot functions, which we were talking about, and I'm going to go into more depth in the later part of the project. Then additional technological features could fall into their own group, because Teslas just have so many advanced technological features that for entertainment and just to aid in driving. So there's a lot going on there. And then design and aesthetics. I mean, Tesla not only is trying to push technology, but want to have appealing cars visually. I mean, you could see that when you look at their models, and that's Elon Musk has said that that's a goal of the company. So on the interior and exterior is a design to make it appealing. And then the home solar power, which we talked about, that can be used to generate the power to store in the car. So feasibility analysis. So is it feasible? Because there's a lot of unproven technology in these cars. So first, is it feasible to break into the auto industry with such a new and unique approach to automobiles? And the answer to that is yes. Tesla has set physical requirements, and they've reached them many times and continue to sell more and more cars and hit milestones. Now for the electric cars, it can create cars that have ranges over 300 miles on a single charge, and their new version of the Roadster model, they claim will be able to reach 250 miles, and incredible speed for any automobile. And then, is it feasible to develop and implement a new unproven technology like Tesla Autopilot? Well, that has remained to be answered, but with Tesla's track record of implementing unproven technologies before, it certainly looks hopeful, and they already have taken major steps in this autopilot project. So they're on the right track. Now, the needs validation. Is there just validating why these cars should be produced? You can see Tesla is selling cars at a steadily increasing rate. We saw that before. And they're constantly improving their technology. There are more affordable models available now. The Model 3 may really skyrocket their sales, as it's a more affordable model than their previous ones. And Tesla has backing. Tesla has the financial and intellectual resources because of Elon Musk's involvement and the U.S. government's backing. So they have the resources to make the developments and growth necessary to take a large piece of the automotive market today and a much larger piece in the future. So it's promising to pursue it for them. It certainly seems. Concept exploration. So Tesla's financial and intellectual resources also allow the company to thoroughly and effectively explore these different approaches and new technologies they inspire to implement. They're able to explore different ways to approach all their technology in every aspect to make the best product possible and the best technology. And you can just see they started with the original Roadster, where they actually bought essentially a fully assembled car minus the drivetrain and engine, to now today with the Model S, Model X, and Model 3, where they design and manufacture everything that goes into it. And it's a much better performance than the original Roadster. They've really made big leaps and bounds, and these leaps and bounds just prove and show their ability to explore these technologies. And they can use the same approach for their new home energy products and the implementation of autopilot. And the concept definition. So Tesla's concept definition has grown to accommodate more and more functions and features as their technology progresses, and this is unique to car manufacturers in general, as they, even though they improve on their technologies, they're not including new functions completely. So this is something that Tesla's really reimagining. As it stands, Tesla looks to continue creating a cutting-edge electric car with the performance of a sports car, the look and design of a luxury car, as well as the most technological advanced features available. And this now includes the new autopilot technology. This is all in order to pursue a growing market for electric cars due to public demand and a changing market landscape, and as a result of government regulations to come against fuel-burning cars. The autopilot technology, while not completely developed, will be released to existing models through wireless software updates as it becomes available and approved. So this is their plan going forward, essentially. And then, so challenges. Anything so technologically advanced certainly doesn't come without challenges to overcome. One of the most obvious being that there's so many functions and technologically advanced features in this car. Getting all of them just to work on their own is difficult. Getting them to work cooperatively is even more difficult. So this is something Tesla is faced with on an everyday basis. And then, will society welcome self-driving cars with open arms, or will it take time? This is could change our society so drastically. There could be an adjustment period in getting people interested and wanting to buy this technology. And an even bigger concern is not whether people will accept it, but will the government accept it? How will laws handle self-driving cars? Will they be allowed on the roads as soon as Tesla hopes? I mean, legislation could slow this down significantly or make it impossible. So this is something Tesla is going to have to monitor. So that wraps up the presentation for now. The future part of this project will look more into the technology and the engineering, development, and manufacturing of these cars. So that's what's to come. And as far as resources come, you can find the full list in the accompanying paper. Thank you.